that the long-term interests of share owners are perfectly aligned with the interests of customers. In other words, while it's true that shareholder value stems from growth in profit, Amazon believes that long-term growth is best produced by putting the customer first. If you held this conviction, what kind of company would you build? In a talk at the 2018 Air, Space, and Cyber Conference, Jeff described Amazon this way. Our culture is 4 things: customer obsession instead of competitor obsession, willingness to think long-term, with a longer investment horizon than most of our peers, eagerness to invent, which of course goes hand in hand with failure, and then finally, taking professional pride in operational excellence. That description has held true since Amazon's earliest days. In its first shareholder letter back in 1997, Amazon's first year as a public company, you'll find the phrases, "obsess over customers," "it's all about the long term," and "we will continue to learn from both our successes and our failures." 1 year later, the term operational excellence entered the discussion, completing the 4-faceted description of Amazon's corporate culture that endures today. Over the ensuing years, the wording has been tweaked to reflect lessons learned and scars earned, but Amazon has never wavered in its commitment to these 4 core principles. And they are, in large part, the reason that in 2015, Amazon became the company that reached $100 billion in annual sales faster than any other in the world. Remarkably, that same year, Amazon Web Services, AWS, was reaching $10 billion in annual sales at an even faster pace than the one Amazon had set. Of course, these 4 cultural touchstones don't quite get at the how, that is, how people can work individually and collectively to ensure that they are maintained. And so Jeff and his leadership team crafted a set of 14 leadership principles, as well as a broad set of explicit, practical methodologies that constantly reinforce its cultural goals. These include the bar-raiser hiring process that ensures that the company continues to acquire top talent, a bias for separable teams run by leaders with a singular focus that optimizes for speed of delivery and innovation, the use of written narratives instead of slide decks to ensure that deep understanding of complex issues drives well-informed decisions, a relentless focus on input metrics to ensure that teams work on activities that propel the business. And finally, there is the product development process that gives this book its name, working backwards from the desired customer experience. Many of the business problems that Amazon faces are no different from those faced by every other company, small or large. The difference is how Amazon keeps coming up with uniquely Amazonian solutions to these problems. Taken together, these elements combine to form a way of thinking, managing, and working that we refer to as being Amazonian, a term that we coined for the purposes of this audiobook. Both of us, Colin and Bill, were in the room, and, along with other senior leaders, we shaped and refined what it means to be Amazonian. We both worked extensively with Jeff and were actively involved in creating a number of Amazon's most enduring successes, not to mention some of its notable flops, in what was the most invigorating professional experience of our lives. Colin.
My first job out of college was designing and building database applications at Oracle. After that, I co-founded a company called Server Technologies Group with 2 colleagues. We wanted to use our experience in large-scale database systems to help companies move their business activities to the then-nascent web. Our customers included Boeing, Microsoft, and a small company called Amazon. We recognized that Amazon was something special, and in 1998 we moved to Amazon, where I worked for 12 years as an executive, 2 of them in a role that brought me into the room with Jeff during an extraordinary period in Amazon's growth and innovation. Those 2 years began in the summer of 2003 when Jeff asked me to become his technical advisor, a role that is known colloquially as Jeff's shadow and is similar to a chief of staff role at other companies. The position